Aloha. My purpose here today is to share some financial information with you. I really feel it would add a lot of value to your life. So, first of all, thank you for your time. I'm gonna make this short. It'll be about 12 minutes, but bear with me. It's great information, and I think you really find it valuable. The company I represent, National Life Group, is the second oldest insurance company in existence and has been around for 170 years. My name is Warren Kalema Mahu, and let's take a look at this diagram. Okay, so life is a puzzle, and I think we can all agree that every person alive will eventually fall into one of these three categories, right? You either die too soon, and in which case your family may be forced to make uncomfortable sacrifices that would change their standard of living, especially if you're the breadwinner in your family. With the, so becoming ill or getting injured, who's gonna pay for your mortgage while you're out of work? Bills, living expenses, yeah. So, things like that come into play. Nowadays, living too long. People are living longer. Many with chronic or critical illnesses that require special care. Living benefits can be a valuable resource if you live too long. So, each of these categories, we have something to offer people. So, what we're going to talk about is a life insurance policy. I'm not sure if you have life insurance. If you don't, it's really more affordable than most people realize. If you do, that's great. You're already thinking of protecting your family. You're on the right track. Are you aware, though, that most policies out there are designed to benefit your beneficiary after you die? So all that money you put into it, you're not going to even see it most of the time. So what I'd like to show you is a policy where you don't have to die to make use of it. In fact, if you become ill, we can help you get access to a large portion of that money to help you when you need it the most. That's pretty valuable, I think so. Coming from the standpoint of me thinking that the only insurance that I could have was the type where you have to die to get. So, I was amazed when I found out about this. So, for example, you get hit with a major illness or injury. Medical insurance doesn't always cover everything that can happen. Some people have caps on what they can take out, and even if you have the greatest, best medical insurance, will it pay for your mortgage, your car, put food on the table, cover your income? Most times the answer is no. Also, we can design this policy where it becomes a supplemental lifetime income for you, which is tax-free. Maybe that's something you might be interested in. So let me give you a little bit of information on what this policy is about. I don't know what kind of policy you have, but we can take a look at it later and upgrade it with living benefits at no additional cost. Okay, so right now we'll use this example. Okay, let's say there's someone paying $500 a month for $1 million policy. And just like most policies, their beneficiary will inherit the $1 million when that person dies. Yeah? But in today's world, wouldn't you agree that in many cases, when people get really sick, they don't actually die right away? Like, how many people do you know who had cancer, heart disease, or a stroke and continued living, sometimes with a permanent disability? Plus, now they have the burden of paying many thousands of dollars in medical bills that the insurance which they had didn't cover. So that traditional type of $1 million policy, it becomes pretty useless if something like that happens. Now let's take a look at the $1 million policy now, which includes living benefits. So if you become terminally ill, and your doctor says you have 24 months to live, the policy allows you to access up to 90% of that death benefit. So if you have $1 million policy, that's $90,000 or $900,000, excuse me, and that's tax free. Okay, tax free. Here's an example that actually happened to someone with a policy from our company. Unfortunately, it was a young child, age 6. She was diagnosed with a brainstem cancer and was told that she only had 3 to 6 months to live. In this situation, her parents had previously bought a $500,000 policy for her as a college savings fund. But unfortunately, she got sick. They were able to access 90% of that policy. That's $450,000 tax free. This allowed them to get alternative treatment that was not available through health insurance. And so, it allowed them to extend her life for another 18 months and spend that much more time with her before she finally passed away, unfortunately. But it gave them some quality of life, yeah, to spend some time with their daughter before she went on. One of the restrictions that many people have is that if they don't have the money, they can't get the treatment. Our policy is designed to give you access to that money because let me ask you, if there are no effective treatments available or approved in this country, but there was a treatment somewhere else that could possibly put a stop to your illness or improve your quality of life, wouldn't you choose to get it if you could afford it? Yeah, most of us, yeah, the answer is yes. So now let's talk about chronic illness. So with chronic illness, second rider, I don't know if you're aware of this, but mental impairment is a big issue in our country right now. Actually, it's a fact that 1 out of 6 people is diagnosed with Alzheimer's today. And it's the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops the disease of Alzheimer's. So it is pretty bad, and you never know who's going to get it, but I see a lot of it happening right around me, all the older people that I know. If you become mentally impaired, this policy under the chronic illness rider will allow you to collect 1 to 2% of your death benefit on a monthly basis, tax free. So 1 to 2%, $1 million policy, that's $10,000 to $20,000 a month of income, and they don't tell you what to do with it. You can use it for anything you want. Yeah. So household expenses, home modifications, nursing home care, regular bills, adult daycare, quality of life, lifelong dream vacation, maybe anything you want. We don't ask what you're using it for, they just pay it out. That's the benefit. The other thing that the chronic illness rider does is, say you suffered a stroke and become unable to do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, such as bathing, continence, dressing, eating, toileting, or transferring. Any 2 of those 6 activities you can't do, it triggers that same rider. So you can access 1 to 2% of your debt benefit per month, tax free. And that's pretty amazing. $10,000 to $20,000, that's unheard of. Where are you gonna get that in traditional policies, right? So the third rider in our living benefits is critical illness. So critical illness is, would you agree that cancer, heart disease, and stroke are probably one of the main concerns we have today? If you get cancer, heart disease, or stroke, you're covered under this rider where they will allow you up to 70% access of that death benefit, which means 70%, that's $700,000. You can get access to $700,000 of that million, yeah, tax free. Now you probably won't be surprised to hear this, but this is the rider that has been activated the most in the policies today, because the majority of people get cancer, heart disease, or stroke. One of the examples I'm going to share with you is about a young man, 33 years old. He got his first policy when he was 32. Elite status, extremely healthy. He had a stroke in May. That stroke didn't kill him though. And if he had a traditional term life insurance policy with no living benefits, he would have got nothing for that $500 a month that he would have been paying. National Life Group actually paid him $848,000 tax free because he was covered under the living benefits. And for him, his 4 kids, and a wife who doesn't work, that benefit, it made the difference between their survival or, could be homeless. We are only one of a few companies that actually give you the option of taking some of the money and keeping some of the death benefit active, or you can take the whole lump sum. They give you a choice. Yeah, so they give you options, which is what other policies don't have. The critical illness rider, or critical injury rider, excuse me, this was added in 2015 because a company is always focused on staying ahead of what the needs of the people are. They recognize that the people may also suffer a critical injury, where in some cases these other riders won't be triggered. For example, say a man is hit by a car while walking down the street, or maybe falls down the stairs, has an industrial accident. So many possible scenarios. Now, if that one person ends up in a coma, paralyzed with severe burns, or a traumatic brain injury, this rider is triggered, and up to 70%, again, 70% of that $1 million death benefit, or 700,000, becomes available tax-free for you to use as you please. Yeah, so my goal is to make sure everybody knows about this. And the fact is, in the United States, we have a population of 330 million people, and 70% of them, which is about 235 million, have a life insurance policy of some kind. 98% of those have the type of policy where you die and your beneficiary gets all the money. There's only 2% of them that even know about living benefits. So eventually, as word of this program spreads, those 98% will want to upgrade to a policy with living benefits. It's inevitable. Now let me ask you, if you were given a choice for the same costs between a policy with a death benefit only, or a policy with all these living benefits that I've just explained, which one would you choose? No brainer, right? So if I can upgrade your current policy to one with living benefits and no additional cost to you, would you be interested? If so, let's set up a time when we can sit down and meet this week to go over your policy. At that time, I can also give you information on our lifetime income benefit rider that can help you to meet your retirement goals and dreams by providing an income option on your policy. It's awesome. One more question. Do you have any friends and family who you think would appreciate hearing about this information? Because we have an excellent referral program as well. By just referring people to me, there's a way for you to make 50% of the income that gets paid out. Part-time, you can earn a really good stream of second income. If I could show you a way to earn $800 to $3,000 a month, would that be something you'd like to know more about? This is real, yeah. I'll be following up with you in a day or two, and we can go from there. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you. I'll be in touch. Aloha.